3 rules to manage your time. Ever feel like there's never enough time in the day? Do you constantly find yourself overwhelmed, rushing from one task to another, barely catching your breath? Studies show that the average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media. That's 30 days a year just scrolling. Imagine what you could achieve if you took back even half of that time. I used to feel like I was constantly behind. No matter how hard I worked, I could never get everything done. I felt stressed, exhausted, and unproductive. But everything changed when I discovered 3 simple rules that helped me take control of my time. These rules didn't just make me more productive, they gave me back my peace of mind. They allowed me to focus on what truly matters, without feeling overwhelmed. And today, I'm going to share these 3 powerful rules with you. These aren't your typical time management tips. They're practical, actionable, and they actually work. And if you stick around till the end, I'll reveal a bonus tip that's helped me save hours every week, without sacrificing my sanity. Ready to finally take control of your time? Let's dive in. Rule number 1: prioritize ruthlessly. Not everything on your to-do list deserves your attention. That was a hard pill for me to swallow. I used to think that the more tasks I checked off, the more productive I was. But in reality, I was just busy, not effective. I was drowning in endless to-do lists, feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, yet never truly making progress. The truth is, not all tasks are created equal. Some tasks move the needle forward, while others just keep you occupied. This is where the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, comes in. It states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Think about it, just a few key actions make the biggest impact. For example, if you're a freelancer, 80% of your income probably comes from 20% of your clients. Or if you're a student, 80% of your grade might come from just 20% of your assignments. Once I understood this, it changed everything. I realized that I was spending too much time on low-impact tasks. I was busy answering emails, attending unnecessary meetings, and doing administrative work that could wait. Meanwhile, the high-impact tasks, the ones that would actually help me achieve my goals, were getting pushed to the bottom of the list. I was exhausted but unproductive. That's when I started using the most important tasks, MIT, technique. Every morning, before diving into the chaos of the day, I would ask myself, what are the 3 tasks that, if completed, would make today a success? Not 10 tasks, not 20, just 3. This forced me to prioritize and focus on what truly mattered. These weren't always the easiest tasks, but they were the most impactful. They were the tasks that moved me closer to my goals. For example, when working on a new project, my most important tasks might be researching the main idea, outlining the content, and writing the first draft. Everything else, emails, meetings, admin work, could wait until I had completed these. This method kept me focused and prevented me from getting distracted by trivial tasks. I was no longer busy, I was productive. This approach didn't just increase my productivity. It also reduced my stress and anxiety. Knowing that I only had to focus on 3 key tasks each day made my workload feel manageable. I no longer felt overwhelmed by an endless to-do list. And the best part? I was making real progress. I was achieving my goals faster than ever before. At first, it was difficult to let go of the urge to do everything. I was used to being busy all the time. But I quickly learned that being busy is not the same as being productive. I had to ruthlessly eliminate tasks that didn't contribute to my long-term goals. I stopped saying yes to every meeting request. I stopped responding to non-urgent emails immediately. I stopped doing tasks just for the sake of crossing them off a list. I also started using the Eisenhower matrix to help me prioritize. This method categorizes tasks into 4 groups: urgent and important, important but not urgent, urgent but not important, and neither urgent nor important. By categorizing my tasks, I could see clearly which ones deserved my attention and which ones were just distractions. This helped me make better decisions about how to spend my time and energy. For example, I realized that many emails were urgent but not important. They demanded my attention but didn't contribute to my long-term goals. I began scheduling specific times to check emails instead of letting them interrupt my workflow. This simple change alone saved me hours every week. I also learned to delegate tasks that were important but didn't require my personal involvement, freeing up more time for strategic work. As a result, I became more focused, more productive, and less stressed. I was finally working smarter, not harder. By ruthlessly prioritizing, I could invest my time and energy into tasks that truly mattered. I was achieving more by doing less. If you feel overwhelmed by your workload, it might be time to reassess your priorities. Ask yourself, which tasks will make the biggest impact on my goals? Then, focus on those tasks and eliminate the rest. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Which tasks are truly important to you today? Rule number 2: time blocking. If you don't schedule your time, someone else will. This was a harsh truth I learned the hard way. For years, I felt like I was constantly fighting the clock, rushing from one task to another without ever truly finishing anything. My days were chaotic, my mind was scattered, and I was always exhausted. I was busy but unproductive. Then I discovered the power of time blocking. It changed everything. Time blocking is a simple yet powerful technique where you schedule specific blocks of time for specific activities. It's like giving every task a dedicated appointment on your calendar. Instead of reacting to whatever comes up, you proactively decide how you'll spend your time. This shift in mindset was a game changer for me. Before using time blocking, my days were a mess. I would start writing an article, then get distracted by emails. I would open my inbox, see a meeting request, accept it, then realize I was double booked. I try to fix my schedule while getting pinged on Slack, then remember I hadn't eaten lunch yet. By the end of the day, I felt like I had been busy nonstop, but I had accomplished nothing meaningful. With time blocking, everything became intentional. I started by breaking my day into chunks, dedicating specific times for different tasks. I set aside mornings for deep work, writing, planning, and strategizing. These were my most important tasks, and they required my full attention. I turned off notifications, closed my inbox, and focused on one thing at a time. In the afternoons, I scheduled meetings and collaborative work because I knew my energy levels were lower, and interacting with others kept me engaged. Evenings were reserved for winding down, reflecting on the day, and planning for tomorrow. This structure helped me focus. I wasn't constantly switching between tasks, which research shows can reduce productivity by up to 40%. By batching similar tasks together, I maintained my flow and reduced the mental cost of context switching. This allowed me to get more done in less time. One of the biggest benefits of time blocking was the elimination of decision fatigue. Before, I would waste so much time deciding what to work on next. I would feel guilty for not working on everything at once, and I would constantly question if I was being productive enough. But with time blocking, the decision was already made. If it was 9 a.m., I was writing. If it was 2 p.m., I was in meetings. No debate. No guilt. Just focus. It wasn't just about productivity. Time blocking also gave me more freedom. By scheduling everything, even breaks and leisure time, I was able to fully enjoy my downtime without feeling guilty. I knew I had already dedicated time to my most important tasks, so I could relax and recharge without worry. Time blocking also helped me protect my time from others. I used to feel obligated to say yes to every meeting, every request, every interruption. But once I started time blocking, I could confidently say, I'm fully booked at that time. Can we schedule this for another day? I was no longer at the mercy of other people's schedules. I was in control. At first, I struggled to stick to my schedule. I was so used to reacting to everything that it was hard to follow a structured routine. But the more I practiced, the easier it became. I realized that flexibility was key. If something urgent came up, I would adjust my schedule, but I would always reschedule my time blocks instead of canceling them. This way, my priorities were still protected. I also learned to be realistic with my time. At first, I would overestimate how much I could get done in a day. I would block off hours for writing, meetings, emails, workouts, and personal projects, only to end the day feeling defeated because I hadn't completed everything. I realized that productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. So I started blocking off buffer time between tasks and giving myself permission to rest. This made my schedule more sustainable and less stressful. Time blocking made me more disciplined. It forced me to set boundaries and stick to them. I learned to say no to distractions and interruptions. I became more intentional about how I spent my time. And the more disciplined I became, the more freedom I gained. I was no longer a slave to my schedule. I was its master. The impact on my productivity and well-being was profound. I was achieving more in less time, feeling less stressed, and enjoying more free time. My work-life balance improved because I was no longer working late into the night trying to catch up. I was able to fully disconnect, knowing that I had a plan for tomorrow. If you're constantly feeling overwhelmed and rushed, try time blocking. It's not about filling every minute of your day. It's about giving every task a dedicated space and protecting it from distractions. It's about being intentional with your time. You can start small. Begin by blocking off 1 hour each day for your most important task. Protect that time fiercely. Turn off your notifications, close your email, and focus on that one thing. You'll be amazed at how much more you can accomplish when you're fully present. Time is your most valuable asset. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. By practicing time blocking, you can take back control of your day and your life. It's not about working harder. It's about working smarter. Are you ready to take control of your time? Rule number 3, learn to say no. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something important. This was a lesson I learned the hard way. For the longest time, I was a people pleaser. I said yes to every request, every meeting, every opportunity that came my way. I thought being agreeable and accommodating would help me get ahead. But in reality, it was holding me back. I was overwhelmed and exhausted. My calendar was packed with commitments that didn't align with my goals. I was constantly rushing from one meeting to another, attending events out of obligation rather than genuine interest. My time was no longer mine. I was living on other people's schedules, chasing other people's priorities. And the worst part? I had no time left for the things that truly mattered to me. I realized that by saying yes to everyone, I was saying no to myself. I was saying no to my goals, my passions, my peace of mind. I was sacrificing my dreams to fulfill other people's demands. It became clear to me that I needed to set boundaries. I needed to protect my time and energy. I needed to learn to say no. At first, this was incredibly difficult. I was terrified of disappointing people. I worried that they would think I was selfish or ungrateful. But then I realized something important: saying no isn't about rejecting people. It's about respecting my priorities. It's about valuing my time and energy. It's about choosing what matters most to me. I started small. I began by declining non-essential meetings. If the meeting didn't align with my goals or didn't require my direct input, I politely declined or suggested alternative ways to collaborate. I realized that most meetings were more about status updates than decision-making, and I didn't need to be there for every update. This simple change saved me hours every week. I also stopped accepting social invitations out of guilt. In the past, I would say yes to every dinner, every event, every gathering, even when I was exhausted or needed time to rest. I thought that by attending, I was showing loyalty and support. But in reality, I was spreading myself too thin and resenting the commitments I had made. I learned to say, "Thank you for the invitation, but I won't be able to make it this time." I didn't feel the need to justify or explain my absence. I realized that a simple, respectful decline was enough. I wasn't responsible for other people's feelings. My responsibility was to protect my own well-being. This change was liberating. I no longer felt obligated to attend every event or fulfill every request. I was able to focus on what truly mattered to me: my career, my health, my relationships, my personal growth. By saying no to the things that didn't align with my priorities, I was saying yes to the things that did. I also realized that saying no didn't make me selfish or unkind. In fact, it made me more authentic and genuine. When I did say yes, it was because I truly wanted to, not because I felt obligated to. I showed up fully present and engaged because I wasn't stretched too thin. I was giving my best self, not a burnt-out version of me. The more I practiced saying no, the more confident I became. I learned to set boundaries without feeling guilty. I learned to protect my time fiercely. I learned to prioritize my goals unapologetically. And I noticed something surprising: people respected my boundaries. They admired my focus and discipline. They understood that by valuing my own time, I was also valuing theirs. One of the biggest lessons I learned was that not every opportunity is worth pursuing. Just because something is a good opportunity doesn't mean it's the right opportunity for me. I became selective about the projects I took on, the clients I worked with, the collaborations I agreed to. I only said yes to opportunities that aligned with my long-term vision and values. This made me more effective and more fulfilled. I was no longer scattered in 100 different directions. I was focused and intentional. I was moving forward with purpose. I was creating a life that was meaningful to me. If you're struggling with saying no, remember this: every yes comes with a cost. When you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. Make sure that the cost is worth it. Make sure that you're saying yes to what truly matters. It's not about being selfish or unkind. It's about being purposeful and intentional. It's about protecting your time, your energy, and your well-being. It's about saying yes to your goals, your dreams, and your happiness. So next time you're asked to take on another project, attend another meeting, or commit to another event, pause and ask yourself, does this align with my priorities? Is this the best use of my time? If the answer is no, then don't be afraid to say no. Your time is your most valuable resource. Don't waste it on things that don't matter. Protect it. Prioritize it. Use it to build the life you want. Are you ready to start saying no to what doesn't matter so you can say yes to what does? Bonus tip: the 2-minute rule. Here's a bonus tip that's deceptively simple but incredibly powerful. It's called the 2-minute rule, and it has transformed the way I manage my time and my tasks. The concept is straightforward: if a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. Don't postpone it, don't write it down on your to-do list, just get it done right then and there. I used to struggle with small tasks piling up. Emails, quick messages, filing documents, or even small chores like washing a dish or organizing my desk. I would think, I'll do it later, and before I knew it, these tiny tasks accumulated into a mountain of unfinished work. This left me feeling overwhelmed and constantly behind. When I discovered the 2-minute rule, everything changed. Instead of letting these minor tasks build up, I started handling them immediately. If an email required a quick response, I replied right away. If I needed to file a document, I did it the moment it crossed my desk. If a notification came up that I could resolve in seconds, I addressed it immediately. This habit of instant action stopped small tasks from snowballing into bigger problems. At first, I worried that this would interrupt my workflow and ruin my focus. But I quickly realized that the opposite was true. By addressing small tasks immediately, they no longer lingered in my mind, distracting me while I tried to focus on more important work. My mental clutter reduced significantly, and my productivity skyrocketed. The magic of the 2-minute rule lies in its simplicity. It eliminates procrastination by making the task seem too small to delay. When something only takes a couple of minutes, it's easier to just get it done than to put it off. It also prevents decision fatigue because you don't have to waste time deciding when to do it, you just do it now. I began applying this rule in all aspects of my life. If I saw an item out of place at home, I would take the 2 minutes to put it back where it belonged. If I noticed an unread message, I would reply if it required a short response. If I finished my coffee, I would wash the cup instead of leaving it in the sink. These little actions added up, creating a sense of order and control in my life. The 2-minute rule also helped me build momentum. Completing small tasks gave me a sense of accomplishment and motivated me to tackle bigger challenges. I felt productive and energized, ready to take on the day. One of the best things about this rule is its flexibility. It doesn't require any special tools or complicated systems. You can start using it right now. Just look around and find one small task that you've been putting off. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. You'll be amazed at how quickly you can clear out minor tasks and create more mental space. This doesn't mean you should spend your entire day on 2-minute tasks. The key is balance. I still prioritize my most important tasks using the MIT technique and time blocking. But by taking care of small tasks as they arise, I keep my environment organized and my mind uncluttered. The 2-minute rule has saved me countless hours each week. It's a simple habit that prevents procrastination, reduces stress, and keeps my life in order. It's one of the most effective productivity tools I've ever used, and it costs nothing. If you're feeling overwhelmed by a pile of small tasks, try the 2-minute rule today. You'll be surprised at how quickly you can regain control and find more time for the things that truly matter. So, what's one 2-minute task you can tackle right now? Conclusion: time is the most valuable resource you have. Once it's gone, you can never get it back. That's why learning to manage your time effectively is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Today, we've covered 3 essential rules that have transformed my life: prioritize ruthlessly, time block strategically, and learn to say no. And I've also shared a bonus tip, the 2-minute rule, that's helped me clear mental clutter and stay productive every day. But knowledge alone isn't enough. You have to take action. Now that you know these strategies, it's time to put them into practice. Start by choosing one rule to implement today. Maybe it's deciding on your most important tasks for tomorrow, blocking out time on your calendar for deep work, or simply saying no to a commitment that doesn't align with your goals. Whatever it is, take that first step. Remember, productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. It's about making intentional choices and protecting your time and energy. When you do that, you create more space for the things that truly matter: your goals, your passions, your relationships, and your well-being. If you found value in this video, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear which of these rules resonated with you the most. And don't just watch, participate. Tell me which rule you're going to start using today. Sharing your commitment publicly will keep you accountable and inspire others in the community to take action too. If you're ready to take control of your time and live more intentionally, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. We all know someone who's constantly overwhelmed or struggling to stay focused. Let's help each other grow by spreading these powerful tools. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. I'm dedicated to bringing you more productivity tips, mindset shifts, and strategies to help you achieve your goals and live your best life. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Next week, we're diving deep into the 5 habits that super successful people swear by. You won't want to miss it, so make sure you're subscribed and ready to learn. Time is ticking. You have the tools. Now, it's up to you to take action. Which rule will you start implementing today? Let me know in the comments below, and let's continue this journey together. You have the power to take control of your time and design the life you want. Start today.